And when it comes down to it, this coaching thing these days sometimes has become more about money and what they can bring in from a monetary standpoint than what they can do for the program and in terms of growing and developing young men. And not to say that these guys aren't developing young men or anything like that, but at the end of the day, you got some real guys that are program builders that can definitely take these programs to another level if given the opportunity. But like you say, it's different strokes for different folks these days. And unfortunately for the coaches that have taken the long road, some of those opportunities are garnished because of the celebrity coaches. And again, I to each his own. At the end of the day, I know for me, I'm going to put the work in and make sure that I'm planted where my feet are and do the job that's asked of me and make sure that my young men are prepared for life, not just a game of football. But when it comes down to it, these universities, presidents, and athletic directors have decisions to make that are what's best for their programs. And when they make those decisions, I would hope that they're making those decisions based on faith and making sure that they're putting their programs in the right situations.
Well, Coach, man, you guys, I know you got, man, shit, 4 o'clock. Damn, Coach, you get up early, baby.
Yeah, man. We get 4 o'clock. That alarm goes off. 5 a.m. We're in meetings, and 6:30 we're on the practice field, and we're done by 9. So at the end of the day, man, we do it in such a way that it allows our young people to get their academics in for the rest of the day. You know what I mean? We don't bother them after that till about 5 p.m. where we get our meetings and we go over our practice and all that good stuff. But it allows them to do whatever it is that they need to do from an academic standpoint, get their nutrition, and then also get the treatment and all that good stuff that they need in those 10 hours or so that they'll have throughout the day. But, it's strategic. Our guys are on a routine. And I think that's one of the other things that have really helped us in terms of success, making sure that our guys know each and every day what it is that's required of them to get them going. So they love the routine. They're in tune with it. And that's what we do.
Yeah. Now, Coach, we're going to let you go. We're going to let you go with this. But one of the biggest things is we have a lot of parents that watch this show that have players. And I'm a big proponent of coming to our school. So, Coach, I cannot let you go without telling these parents why they need to come. Their sons, their all-star sons, need to come play at Albany State and how they can follow you on social media.
Well, first of all, they can, in terms of social media, I'm on Twitter at Coach Q Gray on social media. On Twitter, and then it's at QG5 on Instagram. And it's Coach Q Gray on Twitter, and it's at QG5 on Instagram. And then if they real those old school parents that got Facebook, it's just Quinn Gray on Facebook. So with that, for us, if you want your young man to have an opportunity to play for a quality university and get an education that can take them anywhere in the U.S., because Albany's ASU is spelled USA spelled backwards. So you can go anywhere in the continental U.S. and get a job and be able to work and take care of your family when it comes down to it. So for us, the experience that they'll get being on this HBCU campus and being in Southwest Georgia is second to none. With the West Campus that we have, the facilities that we have, the new blue turf, there's opportunities. Obviously, with the season that we've had this year, there's going to be more people wanting and willing to come to Albany State now because they want to be a part of a winner. And when it comes down to it, if you're about having standards and becoming great young men, then Albany State could be the place for you. Obviously, from an academic standpoint, you got to meet our qualifications and things of that magnitude. If you got a 3.0, you don't need a test score. But if you're below a 3.0, I would advise that you take a gander at that ACT or SAT. And that's not to say that whatever score you get, we won't get you in school. But, at the end of the day, you got to have what you got to have. And so for us, our culture and our guys love being here. And if you were to come visit us and take a look at us, you'll see that permeate throughout our program and permeate throughout our campus, because our guys are not only leaders in our program, but they're leaders on our campus as well. We don't allow flip-flops and Crocs around in our building. They got to wear shoes, because I just think that's lazy. So if that's something you want to live by and you're okay with that, then come on to Albany State and check us out and let us know what you got.
There it is. There it is. The FAMU Hall of Famer, MEAC Hall of Famer, one of our best quarterbacks of all time now, the SIAC champion, Coach Quinn Gray. We appreciate you joining us at HBC Coach's Corner.
Hey, man, I sure appreciate it. It was a good time. Coach Cole, Rock, Cam, man, I sure appreciate y'all having me, brothers. And I love the show. I watch the show myself. And you guys keep giving the notoriety to the coaches that deserve it, man. And I sure appreciate you having me on tonight, and I look forward to the shows in the future.
Now, Coach, one thing now, when you win the national championship, you got to come back shortly afterwards.
Oh, ain't no problem.
And also, if there's any career changes that happen, you got to come back.
Hey, man.
I'm just saying.
I ain't changing my careers. I'm going to be a coach for a long time. How about that?
Okay, all right. Just we appreciate you, man. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks a bunch, guys. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Coach.
That's who they wanted, Rocky. They wanted to hear from the man. I made it happen.
Oh yeah. You made it happen. If it's a rattler behind any bush, under any rug, in any couch seat, you gonna find him and bring him out, ain't you?
Hey man, listen, we got to get the SIAC champion on here, man. This is what we coach in the HBCU Coach's Corner. Is that what the name of the show is?
Hey, Coach, man, look, Coach, you pulled it off, baby.
That was the number one, probably coach of the year. Soon to be national champion. We're gonna speak into existence, like you said. We're going to get that done down in Albany State. Get that done. Because, Coach, people, they say we don't want to challenge ourselves. Well, down at D2 level, they're challenging themselves. And, Coach, you know what? He can follow in them FAMU relevant footsteps, because we're the only ones that won that thing, and nobody else has done it since.
I should have welcomed him into the SIAC Coach of the Year group.
Wait, say you part of the SIAC
Coach
of the Year alumni.
Yeah, alumni coach. Exactly.
Right.
He's a good one, Coach. He's a good one. Did you notice, Rocky and Campbell, the things he say about the championship coaches we have interviewed? Stuff like the Crocs,
Yeah, I knew we was gonna hear this.
Rocky, you knew you gonna tighten that up, didn't you?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to he have a Christian thing going on. They always doing things special, different things. You know what I mean? Trying to keep the kids busy and focused. That's what championship coaches do.
Yeah, Coach. I can't argue with you, Coach. Hey, but before we go any further, before we go over last week and pick the games, I want to thank everybody who's watching on the Off-Script channel. But we're going to suspend the broadcast on the Off-Script channel, and we're going to have it exclusively broadcasted on the home of the HBCU Coach's Corner, Rocky Miller channel. Thank you again for those of you all who are watching on the Off-Script channel. If you want to continue to watch what we got going on, please just hit the link below, and you'll be able to go. Give me some ones once you switched over. Give me a few ones once you switched over. All right. We had a very interesting week in HBCU football. We're gonna start over here with the MEAC, Coach, and we had a good matchup on Friday night. This was a test of two career coaches whom both have won the MEAC titles. One has even won the SWAC championship. The Black College National Championship, which was Chennisberry traveled to North Carolina Central to play Trey Alva and his Eagles. Eagles came up short, just a little bit short. It was probably the best game I've seen I ain't gonna say the best game because that Prairie View game on Labor Day was a pretty darn good game. But this was a really good game, and I think showcased the ability of not only the players on the team, but also the coaches. It went kind of how I think we all said it would. South Carolina had the better team. They won. What do you guys think about how the game turned out?
Well, one of the things that North Carolina Central's Achilles heel, do you got the stat line on that? Go to the box.
Yeah.
The team stat.
Team stats.
Yeah, you just had it. When you look at total yardage and rushing yardage, one of the things that we always said that they had, that was one of their Achilles is to be able to stop the run. If you go up a little bit rushing, yeah.
That's 140. They gave up 140.
Yeah. I mean, as an offense, you want to have 150. So when you got 140, you good. I mean, that means you moving the ball, and being successful running the ball helps your passing game a lot. With riding, with the play action, throwing the ball. As you see, South Carolina State hit a big post route off the play action fade, and that's the thing that's been, to me, North Carolina Central's Achilles heel is stopping the run. I think they've had 2 years of that, and I know that Trey Oliver has got to do something about that when it comes down to recruiting. They got to get some big people up in there so they help them stop the run.
What about you, Campbell?
Well, here's my thing. And of course, we shout out to everybody, did the watch party, started out. Zoe joined us late. Of course, I watched this whole game. And the thing that I did not understand about Trey Oliver, and Trey Oliver's a great coach, but this is a championship game. And I did not understand him taking Walker Harris out to try to run plays. And those 2 times he did it, they were negative plays that then put Walker Harris behind the chain to try to make a play. This player could be the conference player of the year. I just don't understand why you take the potential conference player of the year out the game. Again, he's a great coach, way better than what I will because I've never coached on that level. But I just thought that sometimes you outthink and you got to do what you do best. Run that ball, let Walker Harris make plays. And because those were big pivotal moments when they did not get to turn those in the first downs as we watch the game. You guys know, as I said, this right here is a really dangerous thing that he's doing. And, of course, they stopped him because Chennis Berry, being a great coach, he was like, that guy's not going to throw the ball. He's not going to throw it. So they stacked the line, put him at 3rd and 10, and then they punted the ball, and then South Carolina State comes right back and scores. Another thing, too, we got to give Chennis Berry credit. And like I say, that crown is sitting on his head as the best HBCU football coach out there right now. Because his game plan and him just understand that onside kick was just brilliant at the time that he needed to do it. And also for him and his quarterback, I know, utterly caught hell after that game. But Chennis did not, when that boy strolled and thought he had scored, and shout out to North Carolina Central who played until the whistle, and that cornerback laid his ass out where he didn't score. But Chennis didn't panic. They still stopped him and came back and scored. So, I just think that's one of those games. And also, this is one of those things with Central. Now you see South Carolina State, which I've always told people, they don't get enough respect for being a blue blood program. Now you're seeing Deshaun Jackson coming in. Michael Vick might be able to turn around. Now it ain't just one game you win to get to the Celebration Bowl now. There's a whole lot. And so I want those people at North Carolina Central to understand it's gotten a little bit tougher, but Chennis Berry is always going to be in it.
Yeah, Coach, I thought, I didn't get to see a lot of the game, but I did watch some of it down the stretch. And I just thought Chennis Berry's willingness to stick with the running game, even though it wasn't tremendously effective, but he was able to stick with it. And the thing that surprised me, Coach, and Campbell, I didn't watch. What do you think about the fact that Chennis Walker Harris wasn't able to sustain drives passing the ball? He just seemed like he was off, or he wasn't able to commit execute those passes in critical situations to sustain drives, to keep drives going, especially down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
Well, so this goes back to Coach, and what Coach, I'll just say this, but this goes back to my point about every play is an opportunity, and you can't take him out of the game when that limits an opportunity for him to make a play. And again, does that throw him off? Does that, mess with the continuity of the offense? But also, let's give credit to the coaching that South Carolina State did. They came in that game prepared to win it, and they did the exact same thing they did last year. They got up on them, they punched them in the mouth, and then what happened? Central had to try to dig out a hole, and once again, they didn't have enough time to dig out the hole.
Now this man talking about I'm always on Walker Harris' neck, man. I'm not on Walker Harris' neck. I'm just looking at what happened in the game, and then on third down when they were trying to pass the ball. Now, granted, I agree with Campbell. He got put in some third and long situations, but nevertheless, he wasn't able to execute them. They were 5 and 13 on third down. And what do you think about that, Coach? 5 and 13 on.
Well, once again, when I look at the stats, I look deep into it. South Carolina State was averaging 3.6 yards a carry. That means they always was in short yardage situations. So that means the play calling is different. As if when you look at Central, they were 3.1, meaning they were behind the sticks a little bit. 3.33 keeps you, that don't get you a first down, but 3.6, that's a first down or even tighter. So that's when, play calling becomes effective when you're not effective running the football. As you can see that South Carolina also had the ball almost twice as long as. That means they were making first downs and they were moving the ball and they were keeping their offense. And I always say one of the greatest defenses is the offense to keep the other offense off the football field. You can't score unless you're on the football field. So, South Carolina State pretty much dominated the game, most of the game. North Carolina Central definitely got to come back and do a better job again. As I always say, their Achilles heel is when they can't stop the run. And when you got a throwing quarterback like Harris and you putting that in his lap, he's got to be able to come up and make the plays as well as the receivers got to come up and catch the ball.
Yeah. Now, this next game, Morgan State and Norfolk State, I don't know what it is about Norfolk State. If they get up on you, they just can't put enough distance in between them and the team. And they almost play different when they got a lead. Anyway, have you noticed that, Campbell? Like when Norfolk State gets the lead, they play differently. Like they're not the same. Seem like they play aggressive to get the lead. And then once they get the lead, they go into a shell. The team comes back. They go up again. They go into a shell. The teams come back. I don't know. It just seems like to me that Norfolk State can't sustain a lead, and they're very inconsistent. They've played everybody in the conference tough, but it just seems like and I really thought they had a chance to going into the fourth quarter. I really thought they had a chance to win this game. However, Michael Vick wasn't able to pull it out. What else did you see, Mr. Campbell?
Well, here's my thing, and Coach knows this. Bad teams can't close games. That is just a cliche that stands to be true. And what we've seen from this note, you see potential. You see, the passing game, then the running game can play, then the defensive line can play, but they never all play well at the same time. They never all play well at the same time. And then they make a penalty or they make a turnover. And then what happens is it flips the game over, and then in the end, they lose a game like this. What's going to be interesting, I think there's going to be a massive amount of changes on that coaching staff. I think Michael Vick is really going to talk to a lot of people that mentor him. And I think what he really is going to get, and it kind of goes back to Coach Quinn, get people that are disciplined, get people that's going to have those players focused, and to really set up. Because here's the thing about it. He's going to pack that barn. It's going to be 20, 25,000 people at every game. He's going to be able to walk in all over that Tidewater area to get players. The question is, can he get coaches that are going to be able to coach those players up? And now here's the thing, too. Now Deshaun Jackson put his marker down already has beaten him. Trey Oliver is definitely not going to let Michael Vick, because he's already feeling kind of hurt that he let Chess Berry beat him twice in 2 years, and now here comes Deshaun Jackson. So this thing is not going to get any easier for him. But I really want to see the coaching change that he makes when, at the end of the season, because I think that really is where the key is the coaching was just not on par. And when you just don't have that, like I said, bad teams just don't close and finish.
Oh man, y'all tripping, man. Rocket going to take Campbell Cole, Walker Harris. To be honest with you, Zach, there may be some truth to that. We just won't have McCoy throwing the ball. Here we go. But anything you want to add to this, Coach? This Norfolk Morgan State game?
Coach, the game is 60 minutes, man. And, just as it was a bad loss for Norfolk, it was a good win for Morgan State because they need it, man. I mean, they struggle offense, I think, since Coach Wilson was the coach, named the coach, to be able to score consistently. Big comeback. They never stayed stop. When you playing that team that you're not doing very well, man, you don't want to be the guy to lose to them. So hats off to Morgan State at the end of the year. Both of them weren't playing for nothing. But it was a good game, and that's a tribute to both head coaches.
Absolutely. And this game was this next game, Howard at Delaware. It was a bit tighter than I thought it would be, but I think at the same time, Delaware State controlled this game from start to finish, in my opinion. What did you think, Campbell?
Well, here was one of those games. I was watching this game, and I texted you guys. I said, Howard is in this game. But one of the things that, Deshaun Jackson talked about, Kim, I teach my players how to win. Most of the players on my team have not been on a winning team. And what you saw in that second quarter, going all the way basically to the end of the game, was now these guys say, you know what, we cannot let a bad team hang around with us. Let's start getting going. Because all of a sudden, you just saw the passing game kind of open up. And then, man, listen, that running game, another 200 yards rushing by the Delaware State running attack. And you just saw that over and over again, them execute and getting more comfortable. And then the second half, like you said, they just took the game over. But like I said, early, it looked like 1-1. They were kind of sleepwalking a little bit. Oh, this is Howard. We can beat them. But Howard came to play in that first half. But then after that, that explosion happened in the second quarter. And then once again, Delaware State just pulled away.
Yeah. Don't forget that Delaware State is still a young team, a young staff, and not necessarily age, but being together. So sometimes they get off to a slow start. Everybody is trying to figure them out. Again, I think one of the things that you have to do is stop them from running the football. But when you pounding and pounding and pounding, all you need is one daylight, two daylights. They got guys that can score from anywhere on the football field. So, my hat go off to Delaware State. Howard, y'all came in and made it a game. And, again, you only have one team fighting for something. So, again, that hat goes out to Howard's football coach to make sure that he didn't let them just lay down.
Coach, have you ever been in a game where there were 31 penalties for over 300 yards?
Never. Don't want to be in one either, because that could be a real boring football game.
Campbell, that is, I don't even know that I've ever seen anything like this before.
Yeah, I think, this is one of those things that, of course, and we're going to talk about this again. Delaware State has a MEAC championship to play next week at home. This is going to be one thing that I know that Coach Jackson's going to focus on, because, again, you're talking about a team that's very disciplined with South Carolina State. They're not going to make those type of mistakes. They're not going to give you yards. So that's one thing that he's definitely going to have to clean up when it comes to that.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at next week MEAC lineup, Coach. This is a very interesting week, Coach. Very interesting week in this regard. These other two games, the first two games, Norfolk and Morgan State, they playing for pride. Norfolk and Howard, they playing for pride. North Carolina, Central, and Morgan, they playing for pride, Coach. Some would say Morgan may be playing for the employment of their coach. But we have what is considered a de facto championship. We'll go ahead and pick these two games right quick. This is easy. I'm going to take Norfolk and I'm going to take North Carolina Central, Coach.
You got Norfolk against Howard.
Yeah.
I don't see Howard giving up. I'm going to take Howard. North Carolina Central, I'll go with Central. Of course, Morgan State can't score. I'm going to go with North Carolina Central.
What about you, Campbell?
Listen, I'll tell you what. This is one of those things that when you look at Norfolk and Howard, how many people are going to show up? If I'm Michael Vick, I'm telling my team, we don't want to just go on this bad losing streak like we had. Let's close this thing out. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Norfolk pulls out a close one. Now, Morgan State and Central, I think one thing, and I heard the coach's call, you could hear the disappointment in Trey Oliver's voice, but he did talk about the senior class and all the games that they won. I think the senior class goes out on top. I think they really put up a 40-piece up on Morgan, and then, they go off and Trey Oliver gets ready for next year.
All right, guys, this is the de facto MEAC championship game between Chennisberry and South Carolina State. The upstart, Deshaun Jackson and Delaware State. Delaware State has a dominant running game. South Carolina is very balanced. However, South Carolina State has a lot of new players on the team, right? They had to rebuild. Delaware State has proven that they can play with anybody. If you have to give an edge, I give the coaching edge to Chennisberry. I give the quarterback edge to Chennisberry. I really want to pick Delaware State in this situation, but I got to go with South Carolina State. They have the quarterback. They have a coach. I just believe that Chennisberry is hard to beat in this situation, even though Delaware State is at home.
I guess I go, Coach. He's looking at something. Hey, listen. Here's the thing, and I put Coach Quinn on the spot because I think it's very important to talk about one thing. The coaches that are successful know what it looks like. They played it, they smelled it, they understand it. Chennisberry has. He's been on championship staffs. He's a championship conference winning coach. Sean Jackson, who I think has done a masterful job putting together staff, getting players to believe. But this is where I think the coaching is going to separate. And I'm talking about in games like this, not to say that the coaching staff of Delaware State would not have his team prepared, but just like Chennisberry showed last week, when you play in these big games, you got to have that little bit of edge. You got to be able to make one more play than somebody else. I think Chennisberry has shown that through his career, that he's able to do that. And I think clearly they're not going to be intimidated. And unfortunately, Delaware State does not have a great home field advantage where it's going to be people just going nuts and going crazy. So they're going to be able to get their calls off, not going to be worried. South Carolina State probably going to come up there, have a good bit. I know I heard the band's coming up there. So, again, the atmosphere will be right for South Carolina State. And I think this is just where Chennisberry says, listen, we want to get back to the Celebration Bowl. You saw what happened to us last year. Let's see if we can right that wrong. And I got South Carolina State.
Coaching wise, of course, Chennisberry been around a lot longer. Quarterback wise, I think, it's important, who you got snapping. But there's two things about Delaware State. They're not a great passing team, and they make a lot of mistakes on penalties. Whenever you get two Titans clashing heads, that's what put one over the other. It's penalties, it's possession, it's field position. And when you get them penalties, that means now I'm starting back, in the sticks. I'm starting back behind the sticks, and you don't want to be that way. Hopefully Delaware State can clean that up penalty-wise, but you've seen it in the past. I think South Carolina State defensively will lock up on their receivers. I think they'll focus more on stopping the run, making Delaware State throw the ball. But sometimes, you got to come up and throw the ball against a stack front on defense, just to push them off of you. Hopefully, their offense coordinator been doing that, but when you see how many times they run that football, you just got to watch that. But South Carolina State, I got South Carolina State over Delaware State at least by 10 points. 2 possessions.
Wow, Coach, I don't agree there. I think it's going to be a close one.
Well, that's okay. You've been wrong before.
All right. Hey, and you lost to Tuskegee, so you've been wrong before.
Boy, look, don't bring that game up because I actually cried, boy. Look, hey, don't bring that game up, Coach. Them fight words, man. I knew when we lost that game, we had lost the national championship.
Wow. Hey, Coach, I would have wondered if I could beat Jackson State if I lost to Tuskegee, Coach. I wouldn't have been worried about no national championship.
Man, I gotta get Johnnie throwing out, man. Give me a shout, man. I know shit. Johnnie, I know how I feel, man. When you get one up, baby. Hey, snap it up and get ready for next year.
All right. Hey, Johnnie. Hey, I know Walker Harris is going to deliver that national championship here sooner or later. I hope he got another year because it won't be this year.
All right.
All right. Hey, let's go on to the SWAC.
Oh yeah.
This is let's go look at last week. Hold on. Last week in the SWAC. All right. We had a good one here, guys. It kind of went the way all of us thought it would. Though Bethune-Cookman put up a fight. Let's look at the box scores a little bit. This game was dominated, in my opinion, by Jackson State. When you put up 360-yard rushing, I don't know why Jackson State don't have 50 points. Can you tell me, Campbell, why Jackson State don't have 50 points?
Well, I'm going to tell you, this is one of those games that you kind of saw Lockhart play like a freshman a little bit. And one of the things that I think TC Taylor tried to do, and again, I got to give TC Taylor because he's preparing this young man. Now, word on the street is Jacoby Morgan might be back, not for this game, but for the SWAC championship. We'll see what happens. But I think he's trying to also open up the offense so if there's plays that need to be made, that Lockhart can try to make them. But with that being said, he also knows, too, that he got that hammer, those hammers, plural, in the backfield with that offensive line. And when it was time to take that game over, he turned around and just handed that ball off. And those guys, Davenport, Miller, and Travis Terrell went nuts. And, man, and once again, the thing that I think that's underrated is that Jackson State offensive line, they go get people, and they are nasty. And one of the things, and unfortunately for Bethune-Cookman, which, again, I always felt that Bethune's problem was, can they be consistent? They had drop passes. They had turnovers when in inopportune time. They had a big run to kind of bring the game back at early that maybe would have given them some momentum, but they never could capitalize and never could get ahead. Because one of the things about Jackson, you got to try to get ahead of them and make that freshman play from behind. And if you can't make a play from behind, then that's a wrap. So, again, I think Jackson State does what they do best. They ran the ball. Defense made a big play to open up that spread with a pick six. And like I say, Jackson State's going to roll into the vet against Alcorn. I think very excited, no matter who's going to play quarterback. But, again, I believe it'll be Lockhart this weekend, and I think they're going to evaluate and see if Jacoby Morgan will be back for the SWAC championship.
All right. Coach Cole, did you see anything eye-opening in this? And
I always say as TC Taylor go, Jackson State go. And I was glad to see him run that ball, almost 50 times.
No, he ran it 50, Coach, 52.
Yeah. I like to see that, especially when you got a young Lockhart at quarterback. And you also, Bethune-Cookman is who they are. They don't beat teams with winning records. They only beat teams that's below them, which is good. It's kind of different from what they've been doing in the last 2 years. So are they up and coming? I don't know. They've beaten teams that really have been below them. Jackson State is Jackson State. I think Jackson State is better. I think they can run the ball just as good as Alabama State can pass the ball. And that's why I said that Prairie View, in about another week or two, will have the lineup and the opportunity to play. And both of those teams' strong point are the same. It's just which one of them will make mistakes. So Jackson State still got to get past Alcorn. I don't think that's just a gimme. You got an Alcorn team that's won, 5 straight?
Yeah.
You got a Jackson State team that's limping into the game, playing at the end of the year. This a rival. You can throw the
Coach, they ran for almost 400 yards, Coach. They not limping into the game.
Yeah. Well, they don't have their trigger man. That's
right about that.
What I'm saying. They don't have the man that can make it happen. And when you taking the Alcorn State team that's won 5 in a row, you can throw the records out. It's the Mississippi Bowl or the Soul Bowl, what we used to call it. I don't know if they still call it now, but it was the Soul Bowl. And it's mono on mono, Coach. Alcorn versus Jackson State, both Mississippi schools, man. You can't count it out. Again, it could hurt Jackson State because the week after, they got Prairie View in the championship. So they got to play another big game back to back.
You're right, Coach. And Coach, and this next game.
Go down in the valleys. Whoa.
Coach, Tremaine Jackson predicted this.
I want to go.
Where you want to go, Tremaine?
The name of the place ringing in my ear.
Where you trying to go?
Atlanta is the land of the purple and gold. Oh, the land of the purple and gold. Gotta get there.
And it looks like they have a chance to get there, Coach. They'll play for it all in about 2 weeks, Coach. Like I say, I got to admit it's your protege. I don't think there was much to say about this game. It got late real early, Coach. 56-9. They whooped up on Arkansas Pine Bluff. We can look at the box scores if you want to. The quarterbacks, they threw for 300. They ran for almost 300. And looks like they only gave up about 300, Coach. So this was a dominating performance. You expected this. You said there's no way that Coach Jackson was going to lose focus at this point in the game. He wasn't going to allow his team to lose. And even I think they were playing in front of a sparse crowd even. Let me see what the Yeah, I think they were playing in front of a sparse crowd. Oh, 7,000. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. 7,000.
Yeah. One thing is that Prairie View's offense is peaking also at the right time. They put up 28 against Alabama State, 56 this week, 38 against, of course, the school that we thought they should have scored north. But they are moving north. Their offense is moving north of the scoreboard, and that's big. They've always been good on the defense side of the ball. I keep telling you guys that Tremaine Jackson is a great coach. His best years are still in front of him. He does a great job of coaching, along with your Chennis Bears and your Trey Olivers. Coach Thomas has changed Alcorn in the right trajectory. Mickey Joseph turned Grambling around. I think we got some good coaches in our conference. Of course, there's some room for better. But I can't say enough about Tremaine Jackson and his staff. And they're not only winning, they're winning convincingly as well.
All right, Coach. Anything you want to mention about this, Campbell?
Well, I think the one that the keys is what we got to talk about. We didn't mention, and his father called in last week. Cameron Peters has improved every week. He's now starting playing with some consistency. This is the thing that Tremaine Jackson talked about after that 4 interception debacle against Alabama State that really lost them the game. So, he's sitting back, and I think Cam P said, hey, his daddy came on here and said, hey, listen, my son knows what needs to be done. So, again, this is one of those things that, and I said this to the Prairie View people online. With these type of games, you got to handle your business. Because these are the type of games you want to build your confidence. You don't want to play around. Same thing. They got one more game that they got to play against. I believe they play Valley next week. Put that beat down on Valley, and then you see where you stack up when you got to go play Jackson State. But the biggest thing is to get their quarterback consistent, and Cam Peters has done that for the last couple of weeks.
See, the thing about Prairie View, too, next week when they play Valley, they can rest. No matter whether they win or lose, they won the East Championship.
That's true.
So, it's a game that they can rest, rest some kids that's a little gimped up and get them all ready and start preparing for Jackson State already. They can prepare 2 weeks out. So the ball is in their court, man, and I know Coach Jackson and staff, they're going to think those things too. And, rest some guys up. They might jump up on Valley 14-0 and just start resting the rest of the team. And that's a good thing.
Let me ask you, Coach. I got another question, Coach. And maybe I'm jumping ahead. But if you're Prairie View, if I'm Coach Jackson, I want Jackson State to beat Alcorn because I want no part of Andrew Body and Alabama State right now. That's just me.
That is just you. That is totally just you, because I'm going to tell you, both of them poisons will kill you. So if you sit up there and think that Tiger offense can't score the same amount of points that Alabama State, now Alabama State maybe quick strike, but points are points. So you can sit back and say, because to me, I'm going to be honest with you, and if you looked at it, when they played Alabama State, if Prairie View don't throw 4 interceptions, they win that game maybe. So this team you're talking about, defense is not like that. Jack State's defense is like that. So if I'm a coach, I want to play the team that's got the worst defense. That's just me. Because I've shown, even with 4 interceptions, that we had Alabama State on the ropes. And if it was for a missed field goal, which I think would have tied the game, my Prairie View people in there, it would have tied or win it. I think it was to tie it. And that was with 4 interceptions. So I tell you what, because I've seen that run attack up close and personal. When people can pound on you and start running on you and 3-4 guys, that's for a long day in the office.
Hey, Campbell, me and you can debate all day long, but there's only one man on this show that didn't actually call plays. There's only one man on this show that actually has been in this situation before, and I'll defer to him. If he could get in the mind of Coach Jackson, what does Prairie View want?
Man, Coach Jackson, talking with Coach Jackson personally, he wants the shot at Alabama State to show that he can beat Alabama State. I think both of you right. And the only thing that makes both of you not right is it a healthy Andrew Body? And I'll be honest, Coach Campbell, if there's a healthy Andrew Body, I want to play Jackson State. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to stop a team that rolls up points. But you are right, Campbell. Jackson State is a good, solid team. You are right, Rocky. If there's a healthy Andrew Body, how much is that shoulder ready to rock and roll? You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So both, and I tell you, Campbell, I get weary of a guy. I mean, I played against Steve McNair. I played against Willie Totten, as you know. I played against Bruce Eugene, and damn it, every game that I've had to, I played against Romo. So every game that I was sitting either at the head coach or the coordinator, I knew going in that game, if I didn't score 30 points or more myself, I wasn't going to win that football game because I knew on the other side they were going to score as well. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that about Jackson State. I seen them against Jackson, seen them against Grambling. They lost twice in 2 years against Grambling when Jacoby was playing and without. You know what I mean? So when you don't have an exciting quarterback, you know, where they got to hand that ball off, now I can load the box. You know what I mean? I can stop the run long we can come up and tackle. But when you got that trigger man back there that can slip, that can drop it on the dime, that can make goddamn plays, any defensive coordinator will tell you that they rather play a quarterback that stands on the point than a quarterback that can beat you with his legs.
But Coach, let me ask you a question. The two best teams that Alabama State played, they gave up almost 30 points. They gave up 30 to Jackson State, and they should have gave up 30 to Prairie View.
No, listen up now. Now, how many times have Prairie View got over 30? Twice. 59 and 28, 59 and 38.
And, well, three times.
Everything else been below.
They put 40 on Alabama A&M.
Okay, yeah. 3 times they scored out of 11 games. That ain't saying a lot to say that we're a scoring machine. You know what I mean? And Alabama State, man, ain't nobody stopped them. No, nobody. Nobody stopped them from being in the 30s. So you know, that's where I kind of see it, man. You know, both of you kind of right. If Andrew Body is healthy, you know, I have rather.
Well, see, man, I'm gonna say this and this, and I'm gonna say this, and this is why I give Prairie View people credit for this. You got a shot. All the rest of that talking, that's why, man, I'm in a group, and all they do is talk about FAMU didn't do this, FAMU, and ain't none of them suckers won a SWAC championship because ain't no Jackson State folks in the group. So I'm defending both things. So if you ain't won no championship, Coach, as you know, we don't want to hear that. So my thing is, last I checked, unless Alcorn beats Jackson State, which, again, and this is another thing, too. I'm from Jackson. I've been around an Alcorn Jackson State game. 9 out of 10 times, the team that's the better team wins that game. They ain't won them games like, oh, somebody got upset. Usually 9 out of 10 times, I'm telling you, and if anybody want to make that bet with me, you show me, and I'm talking about 9 out of 10 times, the better team has won that game. Jackson State's the better team. They're going to win that game. They're not going to get upset. That just doesn't happen in that rivalry. Now, Grambling and Jackson State, that's like I tell people, that's different.
You saying the Alcorn State game. Alcorn
and Jackson State. Usually in that game, close or not, the better team usually wins. There's not one. Grambling and Jackson State is more of a toss-up game where no matter the records don't matter in that game. That's why you see a Jackson State can upset or Grambling damn sure will do it. But Alcorn, Jackson State, if Jackson State usually has the better team, I can't remember a time when Jackson State had a better team when Alcorn just came in there, especially when they didn't have a good team. And I don't think Alcorn has a good team. I think they have an average team. I've never seen an average Alcorn team beat a Jackson State team.
You got a point there, Coach. You definitely got. But what makes Jackson State normal, kind of, is they not playing with their trigger man. You know what I mean? That's almost like a clip wing, almost. You know what I'm saying? If a team could just stop the run. Now I got to throw the football to win. If I get down by 2 touchdowns, it's this young kid, the kid that can push us down the football field to win football games. You know, that's the thing why I say when you got a quarterback back there, as opposed to a backup guy, man, you got a shot. You got a shot to win the game.
Now, Coach, I'll tell you this, and that's the thing. This is why, again, because Prairie View is going to be there. They've already won the West. This is the one thing that, to your point, but again, no matter who they play, their defense is ranked what it is. We'll find out. But I will say this. If I'm Tremaine, I would rather have the defense I have that feels like they can stop it and then try to get Lockhart. Again, if Morgan comes, it's a whole different thing. Even with Morgan coming back, that's still a scary proposition.
Doesn't Prairie View have the number 1 defense in the conference?
Yeah. Prairie View.
So, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If that's my point. If that is the thing, if I had to bet my house money, at least I can sit back there and challenge my defense. My only thing is I've seen that Jackson State team up close and personal. And the problem with that philosophy of we're going to stop the run is that they got guys on the outside that can make big plays. And the thing, and I'll tell you this, and I don't want to belabor this, but I literally had the screen up. I was talking to somebody that knows football very well. And we were watching Lockhart and we were watching R.J. Johnson. And the difference with Lockhart as a freshman who got rid of the ball immediately compared to R.J. Johnson, waiting, throw. Waiting, throw. And, Coach, you know that you can't throw when the guy is open. That's too late. You got to throw the guy right before he gets open. You got to throw him open. Those are things I'm already seeing what Lockhart's doing. Now, again, they don't need Lockhart to throw 300 yards. But the thing about it, for Prairie View, to your point, they got to turn them over, and they got to get ahead. That's, Coach, you hit it right on it. They got to get ahead. That's the only thing. But I'm just telling you.
Number one, Jackson State is just not just going to run over Prairie View. So they got to be able to throw the football some. All right. Prairie View in the same way, they got a nice running game. They got an experienced quarterback that's been playing the whole year. You know, they got two great coaches. You know, two great defensive schemes. You know, Jackson State like to put a lot of pressure on you, where Prairie View just like to make sure that they got, 8, 9 men up at the box when you hand the ball off. So Jackson State is coming to the game, and again, don't sleep on Alcorn State because it's a rival. They never know, they might get beat up on. They got to focus and concentrate on winning this football game.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. They have to win that game.
Oh, yeah. Prairie View got really 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I'll play my starters the first quarter. Of course, once we get up, 20, 21, 24 points, shit, I'm playing everybody else. All we doing is taking mental reps and resting up and getting a whole week of rest. Matter of fact, this week I'll be working on stuff, if I'm the coordinator, what I'm going to do to Jackson State. How we going to play Jackson State. So, I think Prairie View got the upper hand. If it was Alabama State, I would be thinking different. I just feel that way. I mean, I just got a lot of respect for Andrew Body because he can run the ball as well as throw it, and as well as they got a great running attack, and their defense is so-so.
All right. Hey, Campbell, let's look at this game, this Florida A&M, Alabama A&M game. I didn't watch it, for Campbell. I know you did. Tell us about it.
Well, here's the thing, and this goes back to, and shout out to Wild Wayne, did a great show. But Wayne said something, and no disrespect to the Alabama A&M people, understand me. Wayne said there's a difference between expectations and goals, and more people should have goals and expectations. And that's only for teams that don't win championships, Wayne. Because when you're Florida A&M, Jackson State, Southern has expectation, South Carolina State has the expectation, FAMU has expectation. It ain't no goal. The expectation has always been in the hunt. So this is what was funny about this whole year. I told everybody, we got enough talent to beat the bad teams, and we've shown that. Not by a lot, but that just shows you the expectation. We're going to win 7 games. Because I'm telling you this, Cozy has that type of luck where we're going to beat Bethune and we're going to beat Valley, and he's going to end up winning 7 games. And for some teams, 7 games is good. He's going to big and say, we went on a 5-game winning streak. For a lot of teams, that's good. But that's not enough for Florida A&M. And to watch this game to where it came down again, where, again, I want to understand, Cozy went for it. Right, we scored a touchdown. He went for it for 2 at the very first touchdown. Again, I know I asked him that in the coach's call, which I don't know why they didn't ask him that. That could have lost us the game because that point actually gave Alabama State the ability to tie the game. They just ran out of time.
A&M.
I'm sorry, A&M.
Yeah.
So when you sit back and look at it, and again, RJ plays well against the poor teams, but we got more talent than them. We were picked second. So all these people that thought FAMU was only going to lose 1 game, and y'all in the chat know who you are, you didn't know what you're talking about. And I told you that wasn't going to happen. So just letting you know. So, man, it's going to be interesting how this thing closes out for Cozy. Again, there's a new AD. You know, this game next week is these next 2 games are very important. I'm not going to give Valley, I'm going to give Valley respect, but I think FAMU is going to finish it out strong, but we still did not play to the level that we could play.
All right. Jackson State's next week opponent beat Alcorn. Beat Grambling. Grambling, the team that beat Jackson State. Alcorn took care of business there. Southern lost in a close one to Texas Southern after leading the game most of the game.
Yeah.
KJ Cooper and the Texas Southern Tigers came back and got them. And Alabama State, with a backup quarterback, did what they had to do. Southern has looked like they're on the way to a 1-11 season. Their next game is the IU Classic. Of those 3 games, there anything that stood out? If not, we'll go ahead and go to our predictions for next week.
I want to talk about. I watched this Texas Southern game, and Southern start off playing well, and Texas Southern looked like they were going to start Texas Southern again. But I got to give them credit. They refocused. They got control of the game. They closed the game out. And again, you hear the rumors, and I do, because Rocky, I know we said we're going to get off, but I want us to hurry up because I do want to talk about this Marshall Faulk thing really quickly. This is where I'm saying I'm really confused about what Southern's going to be if they talk about bringing Marshall Faulk in.
All right. So let's go to this upcoming week, because I think this is quite interesting in the SWAC, because they have a lot of games that just don't matter. So I'm gonna take Prairie View in this one. Pine Bluff and Alabama State, I don't even think that's worthy of picking. This is interesting. Sam Shade is playing for respectability here. Is this their last game of the season right here?
Yeah.
I think 4, 5, and 7 looks a lot different than 4 and 8. And I'm gonna take Texas Southern in this one. I think Chris Dishman is gonna have his second 65 season.
Did they? No, they went 5 and 6 last year.
Oh, it was 5 and 6. Okay. Well, this will be his first winning season, Coach.
Right.
If he pulls it out. But any of these games, you guys want to run through and pick these right quick? So
I just had a talk with Sam Shade. Him, his president, his AD on the same page. There's a lot of verbiage going on because they weren't successful this year, but he assured that he's okay, his staff is okay. I would say to the A&M Bulldog family, man, believe me, you guys got a champion, you got a winner. He just got to get his group ready to go and his kind of players in there.
You see anything happening outside of now this game right here, this Bethune-Cookman Florida A&M game, I think this is a big game. I actually do think it's a big game.
It is. For both coaches.
I think I'm gonna say this. This is a game where the winner survives.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.